Hey everybody. One of the questions I see asked quite a bit on the model truck groups is which glue should I use for this or that? So I thought I'd cover the glues that I use. Now there's going to be a lot more glues out there, I'm sure. Gorilla Glue being one of them, which is a universal type glue. But these are the ones that I prefer, that I use exclusively. Okay, first we have rubber cement. Now this would be used if you want to mock something up. If you want to temporarily glue it together and then remove the parts later. Once you remove the parts, you can just rub this off. It balls up and rubs off. This is also what is recommended by Ertl to adhere the paint mask in the Transtar 4070B kits. Okay. Now, for styrene, these are the only things I use. Now, this is going to be plastic to plastic only. No resin, no metal, nothing. Only plastic to plastic. My primary is this Tester's liquid cement. It is liquid, but it's a little bit more thick than the MEK. So it's a little easier to handle, and it works really well. Now the other glue that I use for styrene only is MEK, methyl ethyl ketone. And it is a water-thin adhesive that works by bonding the plastic by dissolving a thin layer of it. So it's actually welding plastic to plastic. Now it has a brush in here, and you can use the brush to apply it. It works by capillary action. It'll draw itself into the cracks. Or you can use one of these little bottles. Whoop, that just broke. One of these little bottles has like a hypodermic needle on the end. Just fill it up and give it a little boop boop, you know, and the liquid will flow where it wants to go. It will not eat this plastic. For some reason, this is a different type of plastic. It doesn't harm it. Of course not. We'll go back on there. Or you can go to Walgreens, any drugstore, and you can get hypodermic needles for people that have diabetes, basically, not drug users. Just don't get caught on the way home with them, because you have a hard time explaining to the cop why you have all these needles in your vehicle. But I use this for two things. I use it for applying the MEK, and as you can see, I filed the end blunt. I filed the point off, so it's less likely to stab if I can hold my damn hand still. And what I do is, for the MEK, I'll just stick it in the glue, draw just a little up, put it where it needs to be, give it a little tap, and that glue will flow out. You can get way down in precision areas. That's the other thing I use this for, is for painting. Some of the things I like to build are these little 1/64 scale trucks. And then when you go to paint the holes on the wheels, you can't use a toothpick or a brush. They're just too small. So what I do is I draw a little bit of paint up with the needle, wipe any excess paint off, put it down in the hole, and just give a little tap. And that paint will flow into that hole really nice. Then just take it out real carefully, and you have a perfectly painted recess. So that's what that's used for. Now for resin, there's only two glues that I use. I'm a poet and didn't know it. Two glues that I use: super glue and 5-minute epoxy. Okay. Styrene glue will not work for resin. Don't even try it. It may temporarily hold it. It's going to fall right off. These are the only types of glues you want to use for resin. they have their differences. Now, 5-minute epoxy gives you working time, and you can use this over paint. It's not advisable, but you can glue chrome without scraping it. You can glue clear. You can glue regular resin. You can glue painted parts. You know, it works great for everything. Okay, then you have your super glue, which, you know, has its benefits. You can glue things quickly, really strong bond. One thing to remember with resin, guys, actually with any plastics or metals, is to rough up the surface. Glue does not like adhering to a shiny surface. It likes something to bite into. So give that surface a little roughen up with some sandpaper or your knife or something. Just kind of scratch it up a little bit. That glue's going to bite a lot better. When you're using super glue, you're going to want to use some kicker. And this is an accelerator for the super glue. It makes it harden instantly. Now, when I use kicker, I do not spray. I've never used a spray. All you're doing is wasting it. I just take the tube out of the end, touch it to the surface, and you can see it puts out just a small drop, and that drop, by capillary action, will draw itself to that super glue and harden it. All right, now clear parts. Clear and chrome. The do's and don'ts of clear and chrome. Never, ever use super glue for clear or chrome. You may have gotten away with it before, but it's going to catch up to you. Okay? Super glue will it'll fog the chrome or the clear. So stay away from super glue when it comes to clear parts. What you should use, especially for clear parts, is going to be either this Tester's white glue, which is basically just Elmer's glue, or, again, the 2-minute epoxy. That's your best glue for clear. Reason being is that when the epoxy is drying, if you accidentally get some on your glass, you can take a wet toothpick and you can rub it up like rubber. It'll rub up into a little ball and you can pull it off and it won't harm the glass. You won't even be able to tell it was there. That's the reason I always use epoxy. The white glue would do the same, but the epoxy is much stronger. Then the way I glue my clear parts in, I put the glass in from the inside or the outside, however, it attaches. Then I put some masking tape around the cab, across the glass, around the other side. That's going to hold that glass in place. Okay, then I'm going to go on the inside, and I'm going to take a toothpick, and I'm going to put a little tiny drop right where the edge of the glass meets the cab. You don't have to get it between the glass and the cab. You can put a drop at the edge of the glass and the cab, one here, one up top here, one over here. And after it's set, you can go back and add a little more if you want. Okay, that's going to be well hidden. It's going to have a great bond. And like I said, if some accidentally gets on the glass, just rub it off and you're good to go. Make sure I'm covering everything here. Now, for paper, gluing things with paper, these are two good things. You have glue sticks, and it's a clear, I haven't used it in a while, and it don't want to open. It's just a clear glue that you smear on, stick your paper to, done deal. This is better though. This is a clear tacky glue, and I don't even know what to compare it to. It's just a thick, clear, very sticky adhesive. One of the main things I use it for is reattaching the blister bubble on a Hot Wheels package. Works great for that. Dries clear, you can't even tell it was there. So that's what I use those for. And that about covers it, guys. That's just basics on which glue to use. I hope this helps somebody. I see this question asked quite a bit. So, hope that helps. See ya.